A major topic of the day is perhaps something that comes as an unusual one in Nigeria's political party leadership. The statement from a party chairman of the APC, Adams Oshiomhole, who today sent out a strong warning to some members of the President Buhari cabinet who have not inaugurated boards of their ministries. Mr. Oshiomhole says it is dishonorable for them to do so and threaten that such people may be slammed with a sack from the party. And he didn't stop there. He said, if they are... Well, let me allow you to listen to him yourself.
You cannot purport to be honorable minister and you act dishonorably. And nobody is greater than the party. And if the president condone disrespect for his office, I will not condone disrespect for the party. And we will expel a minister, we will prevail on the president. He can't keep in his cabinet people who have neither respect for his own decisions, nor have respect for the party, without which they will not have been ministers. There are no independent candidates in our system. Nobody, I emphasize, no minister is above the party.
Amidst issues of defections and attempts at calming aggrieved members of the APC who are threatening dumping the party, Mr. Oshiomhole is hitting hard. Well, let's find out what this all means altogether for the party, because he raised some legal issues in his statement today, and also some political angles were also raised on this matter. My partner tonight on the program, Mr. Fuad Oki, is a chieftain of the APC. He's in our Abuja studio. And here in Lagos is Mr. Liberous Oshoma, a friend of the house, a lawyer and a political analyst. Interesting today that Mr. Oshoma is celebrating his birthday. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Oshoma.
Thank you, sir.
And I wish you many more years.
Thank you.
So let's begin the conversation. Perhaps let me begin with Mr. Oki now. He's a member of the APC. Perhaps he can tell us. We have not seen this kind of style to party leadership in the past. And for example, when the party chairman says, look, if you do not inaugurate members of the board of your ministries as ordered by the president, you will be sacked. Does the chairman of the party have the power to do so?
Hello? Hello?
Please go ahead, Mr. Oki. The question I'm asking...
Yes, thanks for having me. You recall the last time I was on your program, I did talk about the need for the party to have a very strong leadership. Today, it is a victory for democracy. I can only pray, and I hope that Mr. Adam Oshiomhole would take a further step in ensuring that he's just not another bulldog. And what Mr. Oshiomhole is saying, it's not just at the federal level. It permeates every level of our political system. And I think and I hope strongly that this will send a signal out there, not just to honorable ministers, but to commissioners, to special advisors, to CEOs of MDAs, that if you work in a political dispensation, you must obey, and very clearly you must obey dictates of the political system. The honorable minister, I am not surprised about his attitude, because before now, you see, he was part of the problem why the party lost, the governorship election. So he has that trait, and I hope you will rein him in. And it is also for the president, you see, to be firm. I think it is necessary for the president too, because he made a statement that if the president condone such attitude, the party will not condone. So it's also telling us that the president has allowed his subordinates, his aides, to relate to the party as if they are bigger than the party. And I think going beyond that, we all need to see how things will work out the next couple of days. I hope the party will stand by his talk I hope the party will demand from the president with a timeline that if Mr. Honorable Minister...
Sorry if I'm aborting. The big question is that, the big question about what Mr. Oshiomhole said is the fact that what is the legal backing to what he has said? Does he have the power to sack any minister who erred according to him?
Listen, it's a convention. The Honorable Minister is enjoying the party's support. It's the nominee of the president, and by extension, is the nominee of the party. And all I expect the party will do will call the president and say, listen, we do not have confidence again in this person, and therefore remove him. It's not about legality. It's about convention. It's a political thing. The man who pays the piper should be able to dictate the tune. The party should be able to rein in the Honorable Minister by requesting from his principal, in this case, the president, that we do not have confidence in this person again, removing. And let's see how it plays out. But that is what we should expect from the party.
All right. Let's allow Mr. Oshiomhole, the birthday man, to weigh in on the matter. Today, we've seen perhaps something that is very unusual. Hardly have we seen in well, not in the third republic did we see. Maybe in the second republic, we saw something that looks like when the party leadership sits on the side, appointed or elected officer sits on the other side of the table. Party leadership was supreme at that time. But this time around, we're seeing an attitude from a man like Mr. Oshiomhole. But look, legal part of it, Mr. Oshiomhole, is what exactly does it mean when a minister does not inaugurate board of this ministry?
Yeah, that's gross illegality. Ordinarily, if we were in saner society, that could even lead to the sack, not just the sack of the minister, but even investigation by the National Assembly of the president, because it will be presumed that the president encourages such practice, and that even the appointment made by the president were for just window dressing, and that so the president couldn't have appointed members of a board and then the minister would refuse, who is a subordinate under the president, would refuse to swear in such appointment. But because when a practice becomes too recurrent, it becomes a convention, and so it's a practice here that we have condoned for too long. Appointments are made and then they wait for eternity to be sworn in. Court delivers judgment.
What do they gain? For example, if a minister
I can tell
does not inaugurate the board,
the president himself started all of this. People will always say, oh, I know he will go there. The president took time to appoint ministers, and the excuse that his party gave was that he was trying to save cost, or that he was looking for angels. And so when they do not swear in these board members, what they do is, oh, we are trying to save cost. The money you would have, what do you call it, the entitlement are probably not ready, or the ministry does not have money. But what they gain is the fact that all the decisions that are to be taken by the board will be taken solely by the minister. And so if it's contract, you know the way corruption works here. So if there are contracts that are to be awarded and the minister awards them unilaterally without the endorsement of the board, that one is illegal.
Because one of the ministers did say, because we discovered from our investigation that it's not only one minister, because fingers are pointed to one minister, but we understand that there are a few ministers who have not done so. Because some of them have partially inaugurated. One of the ministers involved in this case did say, look, there were issues of corruption in the past board of a certain parastatal, and is still investigating those matters, and that's why he's not inaugurated this one.
And yet the president appointed members into those boards. And when they were appointed, if investigation is ongoing, are these people that were appointed, are they the people that were allegedly, compromised in that board. You know, so as at the time the president made those appointments, did you report these issues to them to ask the president to hold on? And now that other people have been appointed, does swearing them in stop you from investigating the previous board? You remember MPA at some point also had scandals, but a new board was constituted, and you have the new board in place. That does not stop the security agencies from investigating alleged corruption in the previous board. So all of these, I told you, will be excuses. But the big gain is there is no middleman between the minister and the contracts that are going to be awarded. He gets to do everything, and which is illegal. And so that's why the party chairman is complaining that. And what he said, he didn't say he was going to sack. He said he would prevail on the president to sack such ministers.
He said if they sack in the party, they will prevail on the president to also remove the person from the cabinet.
Yeah, because really, if the
he did say also that if there are no independent candidates.
Yes, if the box stops at the table of Mr. President, and every action of the minister or inaction of the minister will directly or indirectly affect his chances also during election. And so if you say you have a president who cannot definitely, he can't be everywhere at the same time, and so he expects his subordinates to be his eyes in these places. And so when you now have subordinates who are not complying with the clear provisions of the law, and they still keep their seat in spite of all of those, then somebody needs to speak up. Take the issue of the IGP, for example. Mr. President sent him on an errand, and he came back to say, oh, I didn't know he didn't go. Don't be surprised tomorrow if you hear Mr. President say, oh, I didn't know that the board that I appointed members to have not been constituted also. And that's why you need a strong party leader to be able to rein in some of these ministers or insist that the right thing should be done. It is for the betterment of the party.
All right. We'll take a moment. My partner tonight, Mr. Fuad is an astute member, party leader over several years. So he's giving us a sense, a benefit of his experience in party leadership, and also Mr. Liberals Oshiomhole, who is giving us the legal angle to all of these issues. When we return, we dig deeper into what this means for the president of Nigeria and the future of his party. When we get on this break, stand by. We will show you some other political stories that we are following for you in this time. We'll be right back.